And the Broncos are taking out their secret weapon. There is the 3-year-old Nate Wilson, who's fought off leukemia. He's been a regular at training ever since Kevy Walters took over. And great scenes as Adam Reynolds brings the youngster out. They raised money this week for the Children's Hospital Foundation. A few mullets went the way, and including that mullet of Tyson Gamble, Corey.
Yeah, you talk about secret weapons, and Nate has certainly been that, but Adam Reynolds, we see on screen now, what a weapon he has been for the Brisbane Broncos. He's been under all sorts of pressure in regards to his playing ability. Well, he stepped right up to the plate in that regard. We see there 10 games, 4 tries, as the Cowboys, the home side, come out of the sheds. Couple of off-season signing, Chad Townsend. Arguably, probably the signing of the year alongside Reynolds to take their teams to where they are currently sitting on the table. Chad Townsend, 15 try assists behind Mitch Moses on 21. He has been remarkable for this football side, and the confidence that he's been able to bring and instill within this team, the professionalism that he's brought week in and week out, to be up for another huge game tonight.
And we saw Scott Drinkwater on that list as well. 14 try assists. He's only played 11 games as the fullback, and there is Selwyn Cobbo playing with a smile on his face. Will he nail down that spot for Origin 3 on the wing? There is Drinkwater.
Well, what about the matchups? What about the matchup that we got across the board? Oates and Cobbo, 23 tries between those two wingers. Val Holmes and Katoni Staggs. Let's get it on.
A rugby league rivalry that we all treasure. The Queensland Derby underway. And the crowd right into it already. Cohen Hess gets involved first up defensively for the home team. And there's Robson making the tackle. What an addition he has been for North Queensland. Here's Carrigan with that right knee heavily strapped. Walters the dummy half. Here comes Payne Haas, moving very nicely indeed, considering he was in major doubt during the week. Second hit up in 3 plays for Paddy Carrigan. His work rate is quite outstanding. Reynolds, perhaps expecting a lot more treatment, didn't get the kick he was after, and Holmes took it very comfortably. And you expect Reynolds to cop plenty of treatment with that rib issue.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd expect that Reynolds be taken to the ground quite a lot this evening. He didn't quite get the kick that he was after. It was a nice attacking set from the Broncos already. Payne Haas and Pat Carrigan, as we've come to expect, trying to assert their dominance, but good field position here for the home team.
Peter Hiku returning from New Zealand duty last weekend. And here's Nanai off the bench in the first couple of Origins. Potential that he could be a starter in Game 3 if Felice Kafusi doesn't return. From side to side, and Holmes, a little bit of space, turning Taulagi back inside. Oh, this is beautiful from the Cowboys. Drinkwater forced one pass too many, perhaps.
Well, their first opportunity down that left-hand side, the Cowboys able to get half a line break, and I just spoke about Val Holmes up against Katoni Staggs, and that man on screen, what a presence he has had this season for the Cowboys. We see in the replay box just Val Holmes on the outside of Katoni Staggs, brings in Taulagi. Nice little offload to Drinkwater. I thought they had an opportunity back on the inside, but for a little error. And a nice shot across the bow from the home side.
Oh, big hit, Tommy Gilbert. And Carrigan went through that one, and the crowd relished that kind of contact early on in the first 2.5 minutes here. This time they do get to Reynolds and take him down. Teammate immediately goes to check on Reynolds in back play.
Yeah. And Pat Carrigan was the one to go back and help Reynolds out. He was taken to ground. We just mentioned he's got that rib injury that he's carrying into this game. As now the home side get a penalty.
Too many to call, mate. Too many to call.
He's had 2 kicks to start this. It's Cohen Hess. Nothing wrong with that. Takes him to ground. That's all legal and above board. He's 2 kicks to start the game. He would love a little bit more. He's just shanked a few of them. And their first opportunity in this contest, the Cowboys, what can they come up with?
Todd Payton's side already looking dangerous.
Waiting, guys.
That battle between Valentine Holmes and Katoni Staggs out there on the left-hand side for the Cowboys. And here's Hess, who put that hit on Reynolds. There's McLean, part of that New South Wales extended Origin squad, the veteran. They go left again, Dearden. Oh, short ball, and what a tackle that is. A try saver from Adam Reynolds, clinging on to the left leg of big Tom Gilbert. Great signs for Reynolds. Taumalolo now. Out the back for Dearden. Slowed down by Capewell, and Mam trying to reef it away. Taumalolo ball playing this time. Little runaround play with McLean. The big boppers combining. Nothing really doing as they get to the last. Robson got around Reynolds to find Townsend. Hung up for Nanai. A hat-trick against the Broncos. Last time, Brisbane have a new strategy, but it leads to a repeat set. He's so dangerous chasing those kicks. Jeremiah Nanai.
He's a prolific try scorer, isn't he? But again, once again, it's Chad Townsend's 15 try assists. We just mentioned that before. 12 of them have come off the boot. Here's the try saver from Adam Reynolds. This is a superb tackle down low on a big man. And the pinpoint kick of Chad Townsend. How much success have they had off that this year? The Cowboys mounting some pressure.
Franco Lee looking to tap that one back rather than try and take it on the full cleanly. Lovely drop out from Reynolds into Cowboys territory briefly. Nanai and Drinkwater. Great read defensively by Lee this time. This joint is rocking. And the Cowboys are responding. Right on the front foot here in the opening 10. Hess, how busy has he been in these opening exchanges? Townsend takes them on. Ball jolted loose. A very important hit.
With some greasy conditions, we're seeing some players slip over. This time, Chad Townsend just comes off the right foot, takes on the Brisbane defence. Billy Walters goes down, and Tamare Martin comes up with a wonderful tackle on his line. They look ominous there, the Cowboys.
Tamare Martin, who played 42 games for North Queensland before forced into early retirement in 2019. Bleeding on the brain and back in sensational fashion with the Broncos this year after recovering from that issue, as we check in with Brent Tate on the sideline.
Oh, good evening, Speedy. Good evening, Corey. What an absolutely perfect conditions up here in North Queensland. It's 23 degrees. There's been a bit of a breeze around, so conditions are perfect. We know both teams like to throw the ball around and play pretty expansive footy. What a privilege it is to sit on the sideline with this crowd. It's absolutely buzzing here tonight, and looking forward to this one. Matchups everywhere. I can't wait to watch.
The Broncos tackled in the opposition half for the first time after absorbing so much early pressure here. Haas through the tackle of Gilbert, but Dearden slowed him down. Kept his feet through it all, did Payne. Reynolds, little chip over the top. And Drinkwater back into the field of play somehow. The bounce didn't go the way of Selwyn Cobber.
It was an excellent set coming out of their own end. The Brisbane Broncos, a little offload now to Val Holmes. They just come down this left-hand side. It was Capewell that started things, just poked his nose through. Off the back of that, they had some wonderful momentum. And Reynolds, the short kicking game. Looks like we're set for some points. There's a nice, expansive game of footy going on.
Yeah, both teams full of points in recent times. Broncos scored 32 or more in 5 of their last 7 wins. And the Cowboys have been busting through that 30-point barrier regularly under Todd Payton. Winners of 9 of their past 10. The only defeat came against Penrith. Drinkwater with the spiral. Tamale Martin butchers it, and the Cowboys get another set. So difficult to take when they get that spiral going, a la Matty Burton from Drinkwater.
Yeah, superb kick. We see the replay on this kick. He just kicks the belly of the ball, come out perfectly. Tough take in the conditions, bit greasy as we just mentioned, and Tamale Martin just at the last second lost sight of where it was and comes up with an error for the Broncos.
Let's get our 6, guys.
Centre field scrum. The North Queensland to go to work. 2 on the left, 4 on the right.
Tamari in. Right, hold, break.
And they do go to that right-hand side for Townsend to get upended. And sat on his backside by Ezra Mann. Defence the focus for him, said Kevy pre-game, and that will please the coach.
Chad Townsend's up for a game tonight, not normally a runner of the football, already taken the line on twice.
Taumalolo trying to hit and spin his way through it. Tamare Martin with a smile on his dial. Slow down the big man. Good early contact again by Manbrook. The offload from Nanai over the top, and Felt could not hold on. The late inclusion today in the number 22 jumper. So nearly for the Cowboys.
Well, he's broken Brisbane's hearts many a time, Cole Felton, in his return game. Wonderful lead-up play. Ezra Mann and his defence has been spot on. We see just straight up under the ball there on Chad Townsend. It was a nice little offload. Well, the man of the moment up the north, Jeremiah Nanai, and Tommy did a beautiful little pass, just couldn't be taken by Felt. Oates was coming across.
Slipped into it, and Tommy Gilbert went searching for the rattler on Selwyn Cobbo. Drop off, says Jason, and Taumalolo can't take it off Paddy. Look at that hit on Cobbo. Slipping into it, and Gilbert still got it. Little juggle from Mann. Big occasion for Corey Jensen, the former Cowboy. In the front row for the Broncos. Drinkwater makes it look easy.
Both these teams just starting to feel each other out. There's been some wonderful end-to-end football go on. Their outside backs really do a good job as now Hiku throws one out the back.
Townsend facing his own try line, left it behind, and the Broncos think they might have stolen one here. Billy Walters, is it a try? Given.
Well, we'll have to have a look in the replay. But Peter Hiku coming out of his own end. He's been terrific in this for his team. Comes up with a real pressure pass that goes to nobody. Because Tony Staggs, does he get that with his left hand? It's been all the running of the Cowboys in the opening 12 minutes.
No grounding by Townsend. And left behind by Staggs for Billy Walters to claim his 3rd career try. They both kept their feet through it all, involved in the tackle initially, Staggs and Walters, and no little hand in there by Katoni that we were looking for.
Yeah, it's a wonderful try, isn't it, for Billy Walters. He's had a really good season for the Broncos, filling into that number 9, now making it his own. And the Broncos, just a little bit of pressure defensively. Peter Hiku, who's been terrific this season for the Cowboys, just forces a pass that doesn't go to Chad Townsend. Humid, greasy conditions, and the Broncos able to score first.
Yeah, 9th game in a row as the Broncos starting hooker for Billy the Kid. And there to pounce and give Adam Reynolds a nice easy look to make it 6-0 to Brisbane after facing all of that early adversity, defending their own line. the visitors who lead with a converted try. Brent Tate, that was risky play inside their own 20.
Yeah, he'd like his time over again, but you can chalk that up to the Brisbane Broncos defence. Their goal line defence has been outstanding. The Cowboys have had all the running in this first 13 or so minutes, and they've put Brisbane Broncos under all sorts of pressure, but their defence has stood up. There's still plenty of feeling in this one. Tommy Gilbert and Paddy Carrigan are going at it, boys. There's been plenty of sledging, so there's a lot of feeling to go on this one.
You just get the sense that there's a lot of twists and turns left in this game. Well, only been 13 minutes into the contest. We've been end to end. There's been plenty of football played.
Dominating possession, the home team, but behind where it counts. Tackled just twice in the opposition half, and yet to be tackled in the red zone, the Broncos, but a bonus try off the error from Hiku. Carrigan moving it on this time. Here he comes from deep. Ezra Mann ducked out of the tackle from Townsend, so he's ahead in that little battle. The teenage 5'8".
Done a really good job, just an early shift to this left-hand side. It's just got them out of their own end quite nicely for the Broncos.
Carrigan, lovely offload for Walters, and here goes Ezra. Ran into a roadblock. Walters looking to find his number 7. Pressure again. Comped his whack again, did Reynolds, and the kick is off the mark again. 7 tackle set given up.
Yeah, that's a real team effort play there from Cohen Hess, I think it is, who may have just stayed down. Just putting enough.
No later than that, right? The kick content, no later.
Just putting enough pressure on Adam Reynolds, and he just measures it wrong, and in doing so, yeah, that's play on, that's fair. Doesn't want any later, though, the referee in game 200.
It's a fine line, but he knew. He put his hand up, knows his body better than anyone else, Adam Reynolds, and told the coach he was right to go.
Here's a concern here for Hess.
Wait, foot's on his foot. We've got wait for one. Wait.
Just favouring that right shoulder, whether it's a burner or a HIA.
Yeah, we'll get Brent Tate onto that one and see whether Cohen Hess will be able to return. He's been instrumental in the opening stanza. Adam Reynolds won't be upset to see the back of Cohen for a little while. Tanoa Brown on to replace him. Here's Hiku. No thoughts. A little flick out the back this time. Straight into the action. There's Tanoa Brown. Former Warrior and Dragon. Taumalolo did and ran into Gilbert there, and the big man let him know about it. McLean, a little out of sync with Tanoa Brown. But they've worked their way inside the 20. Townsend switches it up. Drinkwater. Nanai trying to get through there, and it was a good take in the end.
This is a nice little setup play again coming to Nanai, so good in the air. Ooh. As Corey Oates gets a little bit of medicine coming out of his own end. The Broncos defensively in the early stage of this game have been terrific, just repelling everything the Cowboys are throwing at them. Now they come out.
Oh! Intercept! Taulagi accepts the gift, and we're going to be all tied up in the Queensland derby. The Cowboys fans pretty pumped about that one.
Yeah, a couple of unforced errors by both sides, and they have been made to pay. Taulagi this time just comes up with a beautiful little intercept. Some space out to this right-hand side. They were going for Katoni Staggs, who was on the out. And wonderful defensive positioning from Taulagi. And both teams, Speedy, just starting to come up and expand their game, coming out of their own end.
And that time it was Valentine Holmes getting in the face of Reynolds, who hasn't appreciated the treatment he's copped already. The pass was not on the money, not quick enough to get to Staggs.
Yeah, it was really nice work from Taulagi. to identify that they were short on numbers. Val Holmes had zeroed in on Reynolds, which then meant he had to follow him and put himself between the two attackers. They're going to be all locked up at 6-all.
Head-to-head with Selwyn Cobbo tonight. Murray Taulagi, they were the starting wingers for Queensland in Origin 2. And Valentine Holmes has been in superb goal-kicking form. Gets an early sider here and sends it a good 25 rows back. 6-all. 17 minutes in.
You see on the replay there, though, had the numbers out of the right-hand side, but again, just the awareness of Val Holmes to come up and put pressure on the ball player. We heard from Todd Payton in the pre-game just talking about what's the key to shutting down their attack, and it is that, exactly that, taking away the time and space of the ball player and what they're able to do.
And that replay confirming that Taulagi was well and truly onside as well. It's travelling long, but perfectly judged. And it did and muck it up. No, he got it right. Got that foot dead in goal and got a touch on it. And Casey Badger, the touchy, had a good view and said, penalty on halfway.
Oh yeah.
The studs are there. And an eagle-eyed Casey Badger.
Belinda Sharp,
rather, well played.
It's already been gone. Just relax. It's already gone at him. The replay come up and I was told, challenge over. You got to come earlier.
Adam Reynolds blowing up Deluxe. Chad Townsend wanting to get on with things. He'd say that the challenge was over, and here come the Cowboys.
And Reynolds has a little bit of feedback for Belinda Sharp as he goes out to defend on the right wing initially. And again, heavy contact. Carrigan involved. He's got to let him go now, Paddy.
Little bit of feeling now starting to come into it. Paddy Carrigan.
Move now! All the way, smoke!
Townsend. Gilbert's straight at Reynolds again. Tamaloa pops it out the back. Who wants it? Great handling by Dearden under pressure from Capewell. Townsend looking to switch it up again. Little kick in behind for Holmes. Staggs was trying to get back out, but no joy.
It's a great variation around the ruck for the halves for the Cowboys. They've done a few switch of plays. It's greasy conditions this time. Chad Townsend coming back against the grain, puts a lovely little kick in. And Val Holmes, what a season he is having after moving from fullback to wing, now into the centres. And the Broncos under a little bit of pressure.
Might be out in the full again. That time there's no controversy about it. Penalty right in front here if they want to go up and lead by 2.
You can see there from Adam Reynolds, not happy with that kick. He's had a couple of kicks just come off the side of the boot. That one there is costly. You would imagine the Cowboys will come up and take a gift 2 points. It's going to be one of those games. He's still blowing up about the...
The bunker didn't come in because it's correct.
Why can't they?
No, because it's correct.
How's it? His foot's off the line. Everyone's seen it. The fucking crowd.
I'm just giving you the peace of mind.
Plenty of frustration coming through there.
Yeah, let's look at it. This is what he's blowing up about. I think Dearden executes it perfectly. Foot on the line, then the touch of the ball. That's all he needs. So Reynolds is complaining, but even if he got a captain challenge in, he would have lost it. So they keep it, and he's got to let that one go.
Yeah, plenty of frustration. Be coming off the back of the fact that he's just kicked it out on the full, and a gift 2 points here for Val Holmes and the Cowboys.
So Adam G is the man in charge tonight. A milestone for him, 200th game as a ref in the NRL. Received his commemorative jumper from Brent Tate earlier on. Holmes going through his routine. And North Queensland lead now from 6-0 down to 8-6 in front as we go down to Tatey.
Yeah, just got an injury update on Cohen Hess. He went straight up the tunnel to get checked. He's got nerve damage in that shoulder, so they haven't ruled him out. They're going to keep him off, bring him on in the second half, hopefully get some strength back in that. So some good news for Cowboys fans that Cohen Hess should be back in the second half.
Just wait and see what Adam Reynolds does on this kick-off. Frustrating little 2 minutes for Adam.
Well, sing-along classics are out here at the Queensland Country Bank Stadium, and a very conservative kick-off this time from Brisbane's number 7. Again, the adventure inside their own 20. And Mam involved in the tackle with Branko Lee to stop Townsend. Taumalolo in the mood tonight.
It's a great run from the captain, Taumalolo, just showing the weight.
And now Robson picks up 15 metres on that play. Drinkwater says, where to next? The chase is on. Up they go again. Oates fumbles this time. Left behind for Nanai, who is in the Broncos' head with those kicks out to his side. Dearden scheming and taking on Reynolds. Finished him off strongly over the top. Beautiful passing again. Felt a little juggle. Has a crack for the corner and denied. And the ball came loose there. They'll get it back to Broncos.
Well, desperation deluxe for the Broncos out on this left-hand side. Had a couple opportunities. Here's the error from Corey Oates in the air under all sorts of pressure. And a couple opportunities for Kyle Felt in his return game from his knee. He's come up with another error. Ezra Mam. Tamara Martin just getting caught up but doing enough. Some great desperation from both teams.
Tamare Martin, who was involved in that try saver, still down, checking on his ribs.
He just got caught awkwardly coming across in cover. It's a big concern here.
On another day, Kyle Felt thinking he might have slid in and scored that try, but they stopped him dead. Just centimetres from the try line, and Tamare Martin will soldier on here.
He doesn't look good. A wonderful sign for the Broncos. You see that possession, 34% possession.
The cliche is that it evens up. Does it always even up, Corey?
You'd like to hope so. Oh, some strong defence over the top on Cobbo.
Oof. And they look to greet this man, Tommy Flegler, with some physicality as well. Harrigan just keeps on going. Could he play 80 minutes in Origin 3, Paddy?
He certainly could. Paddy's got that ability. We see it week in and week out, just his workload and what he's able to take on. I don't know that he'd need to, though. As another kick goes too long from Adam Reynolds. 7 tackle set.
Kicking game off for the former South Sydney superstar, but only trailing by 2 on the scoreboard. It's a pretty good result considering he hasn't really got it right yet. Strong metres for Taulagi in off that wing. And now Holmes from dummy half. They're getting plenty of joy out of there. Have another go. And the offloads are mounting. Brisbane struggling to contain the Cowboys here. Drinkwater got rid of Mam. Only midway through this set. Taumalolo had the arm free, no one looming in support. McLean How nicely is he moving, the big man? Oh, he thought about it to Robson. Drinkwater. Valentine Holmes met by Stagg, somehow kept it alive. And Drinkwater back crossfield, plucked out of there by Capewell, and they go early on the counter-attack. Oates! And he's reeled in by Townsend, but the adventure from Brisbane on full display, and that's
Play on.
thought he said held, but not held was the call, and play on for Corey Oates. They're back to halfway.
Well, what a game we have. Straight away, the Broncos go to the counter-attack out this left-hand side. They look gone for all money out to the right. The kick just need to go a little bit higher for Nanai. A nice run now from Flegler, and 30 metres out. End-to-end football. Play 2.
Oh man, clearly blocked by Drinkwater, and they've got the chance to level it up here.
Great little heads-up play. Ezra Mam had a terrific start to this game defensively. Been very good. Starting to ask some questions with his running game. Play 2, kick over the top. Realised that Drinkwater was up in the line. And both teams. We had a forced pass from Peter Hiku that went to a try. We had an intercept off Adam Reynolds that led to a try. All unforced errors are going to mount to some points here. Adam Reynolds still asking questions of the referee. He needs to get on with that.
Here we are. Yeah, we're getting a lot of footy. Yeah. 10. Adam, you can come up. You can come up. Just come in line with the dotted line. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Sorry, Dave.
But the attack that we've seen in the opening 27 minutes has been superb. I mean, the rivalry that has been between these two teams in recent times have not been matched. And 8-all.
You've given him this one.
That's a give me.
And not even the Moz from Corey Parker can sink Adam Reynolds. And we're all locked up. We talked about the Golden Point history between these two teams. And tipped up by Cooper Cronk back in the studio that we're bound for a 7th Golden Point between these two. And they're going score for score at the moment.
Everybody in the rugby league that has watched these two teams go at it, form line or no form line, have just delivered. And 27, 28 minutes into the contest, 8-all. All points, as I mentioned, coming off the back of some basic fundamental errors. Broncos doing a great job of that, all the defensive pressure put on them.
Good strong return from Flegler. He's in that Queensland part of the extended squad for Origin 2. And there's Haas, the New South Welshman, in this Broncos lineup. Walters looking for a ball runner, and eventually Carrigan put his hand up. 7th run of the night for Paddy. And there's Ricky on that right edge.
Yeah, nice play through the middle. 3 middle forwards just linking up.
Mam, pressure on his kick. Well weighted, pressure on Drinkwater. Just held on, and the ref had a good view.
A lovely take from Drinkwater. Capewell come in and put him under pressure. The Broncos just marching out of their own end quite nicely as now the Cowboys go for some interchange.
And a club debut for Luciano Leilua. Another milestone as well, game number 100 in the NRL. And he might get straight into the act here. They cut him out for now, but he looms in support. Luciano Leilua straight into the action off the Valentine Holmes pass. Taumalolo, big right foot step.
He's in a mood tonight, Taumalolo. Loves the contest between the Broncos and the Cowboys.
Great height from Drinkwater. Cobbo climbs. And Lee Lua already winning these home fans over with his energy off the bench. Was signed by North Queensland at the back end of last year. Wasn't due to arrive until next season, but got the early release to join this team from the West Tigers as we check in with Tatey.
Yeah, some injury concerns for the Brisbane Broncos. Tamari Martin's actually gone off, which means Cobbo goes back to fullback. Brenko Lee out to that right wing, and Capewell is defending now in this left-hand centre position. So some concerns there for Tamari Martin.
From inside the 40, but a long way off, and the Broncos' kicking game has not been on tonight.
At this time, Ezra Mam taking over the duties over the last two kicks, as we hear from Brent Tate. Just Tamari Martin leaving the field, caught that knock into the ribs. And Selwyn Cobbo back in the fullback role, just took too much of it, going for a 40-20. Only a metre. The Broncos will be under more pressure in this first half.
They start centre field, 30 out. Noah Brown. Oh, ball came loose, and the knock-on is the adjudication. Does he ask for a captain's challenge? They are going to send it upstairs.
Yeah, Joey. Cowboys captain's challenge, coming up to tackle 2. On-field ruling, knock-on, disputing for a strip.
He was adamant it was stripped out of here. Didn't look obvious initially, but
Billy
Walters
Walters
does
steals the
have a
ball
little.
from Jermaine to Noah Brown. Challenge is successful.
It was a nice challenge, wasn't it, from Tanoa Brown? Middle forward coming off the bench.
Corey, you just get the feeling the Cowboys need some points here. They've had the weight of possession and all their running in this first half. They just get the feeling they're going to need some points, because that'll even up the second half for sure for the Broncos.
Yeah, well, they're going to opt for the 2 points here with Val Holmes, but you're spot on, 61% possession for the Cowboys. It's quite incredible. From the Broncos' standpoint, there's been plenty of adversity they've had to be shown, and more so with Tamari Martin leaving the field and Cobbo going back to fullback. But both these teams, I mean, we've seen it so often in recent times. If there's early points or any sort of cheap points on offer, you have to go for them.
And he's striking the ball so beautifully. As Valentine Holmes should have no issues here. These Cowboys have scored 28 points or more in their last 8 wins. They just want to score 1 or 2 more than the Broncos tonight in this Queensland derby. Slots another penalty goal over, and the Cowboys edge their way back in front.
That's good signs there for the Cowboys, with Cullen Hess back onto the bike. We heard from Brent Tate earlier, had a bit of nerve damage in his shoulder after that tackle on Adam Reynolds. Looks to be like he's okay.
What about the next game tonight on Fox League? The Rabbitohs against the Eels, and Latrell Mitchell is back. All coming your way. Exclusively live tonight on Fox League. High kickoff from Reynolds, and a contact from the 2 interchange forwards side by side. Hetherington in company with Flegler. Leilua going to work in the middle.
A strong run from Leilua, and the home fans love it, and gets his team a penalty as the Cowboys come in, give him a pat on the head in game 100, game number 1 for the Cowboys. Mid-season switch from the Tigers.
Yeah, 43 games for the Dragons, 56 for the Tigers, and now on debut as a Cowboy. Got the potential to be a cult hero up here by the early signs.
Well, they got some lethal attack on both edges. Nanai, Leilua, Elam Luki, who won't be back this season.
Yeah, done out as well, so that's why they needed Leilua early, and they got the result they were after from the West Tigers. Off the back of the piggyback penalty. Dearden. Oh, Ezra Mam lined him up. Drinkwater bounces straight back up, but it's one of the hits of the round, one of the hits of the year from Ezra.
What a first half Ezra Mam is having.
Gets after him again here and drags him down in a more conventional fashion. Townsend kicking for those uprights. It was awkward, wasn't it? They left it behind, and no Cowboys could pounce, I don't think.
Okay, Joey. I believe we got a knock on from Broncos first. We got no try and then a no grounding from Cowboys.
What a game. What a game we have. Still 5 minutes remaining.
Kick chase from Cowboys is onside.
Townsend aiming for the crossbar. Comes up just short. Cobbo just gone back to fullback. As Robson comes
There's
through.
a knock on from the Broncos at this stage.
Does Leilua put a finger on this?
Oh. So kicked away just as he was looking to do it by Walters with a second effort.
We might need another angle. He's only got to put one finger down on it.
There's no...
That's Walters kicking it away. That's why Leilua goes after it.
Just looking to see if there's a grounding from the Cowboys.
Well, he's made the error, but
There's a
he's
knock on from the Brisbane Broncos, then from the Cowboys. We have a decision.
stayed alive there, Billy Walters, to save 6 points.
What about the shot from Ezra Mam?
It's going to be a dropout, mate. We've just got to wait for them.
And again, the Broncos, the desperation, goal line desperation has come up. Here we go here. Out the back to Drinkwater. Yes, sir.
Wham, bam. Thank you, man. What a sliding doors moment that could be, because if either Cobbo or Walters could have taken it, 7 tackle set and the Broncos are going the other way. Instead, they've got to defend this set again. And all that pressure inside their own 20. To be trailing by just 2 is a big win here for the Broncos, but when they hang in there on this set. They lure again. Some post-contact meters on offer. On the angle, first touch for Griffin Neame. Drinkwater, little kick in behind. Cobbo in the fullback role, looking to go 105 metres. Townsend in cover. They're all on the treadmill behind Selwyn, but they drag him down, and the Cowboys have a habit of that in 2022.
Must come left.
Immediately, 20-metre spiral, and Mam kicks for that corner. Oh, no. Hiku's back there. Oates following through. It nearly held up long enough for him, and Hiku
Here we go
again. End-to-end stuff here at the Queensland Country Bank Stadium. What a game. What entertainment you're getting on Fox League.
Well, it's lived up to all the expectations this first half. Selwyn Cobbo put back to fullback. Tamare Martin gone off with injury to the ribs and has injected himself immediately.
Now Nanai Mam gets down low and makes another brilliant tackle.
It was a wonderful heads-up play. You mustn't have seen Peter Hiku just drop back on play one. The Broncos up in under enormous amounts of pressure.
Drinkwater did and just stayed behind him long enough, and the kick's pretty handy. Blanco Lee on the wing after that reshuffle, as you heard from Brent Tate, and an important last 3 minutes here before the break.
Well, the defensive display the Broncos have shown this first half has been excellent, as Katoni Staggs now gets a penalty.
Over a marker.
25 times the Cowboys have been tackled inside the 20 of the Broncos. This is the third best attacking team in the competition. And they have repelled them time after time after time. And 2.5 minutes remaining. Can they come up with some points?
We'll be hearing from Latrell Mitchell very soon on Fox League, see what he's thinking ahead of his return tonight against the Eels in our nightcap on Fox League. Ball came loose here.
Well, he's gone back-to-back tackles there, Griffin Neame. Really good shot on Jordan Ricky, and then doubling it up.
Shot clock on.
And went after Kobe Hetherington. In doing so, he's got his team off the hook.
There was congrats for Griffin Neame and Tom Gilbert. Short back and sides this week after losing the mullet to raise money for charity. Keenan Palacia. And it was Hetherington who was rocked by Griffin Neame. Not sure why they got around Tom Gilbert.
Similar looking players.
Final 90 seconds of an absorbing first half in the Queensland Derby. 58th edition. Over the top. The two rangers head to head. Flegler on knee. Leilua has the arm free and Robson there. Takes them on up the middle. Still a couple of plays left here for the Cowboys to try and finish the half on a real high. Drinkwater. They've done a lot of preparation to try and keep him quiet tonight. Hung up by Dearden. Fumbled by the Broncos, but backwards this time. And they're seeing off the threat of Nanai for now.
35 seconds remain in this first half, and if the Broncos can get to the break at 10-8, Kevin Walters has now felt under Palacia will be ecstatic with his team defensively. They've had to do an enormous amount of tackling.
Final play potentially, and as Reynolds play it, skims it out of play, and that'll do us. First half over, and it's still right in the balance here. At halftime, it's the Cowboys who lead it by 2, 10 points to 8.
That man there, what a first half he had. Talking about defence, come up with some absolute bone rattlers.
These Cowboys looking to sweep the Broncos, their big brother, for the first time in a decade. 2012, the last time they won home and away against Brisbane. Then they backed it up in the finals as well for a clean sweep against you boys.
Yeah, they certainly did. And what influence is Scott Drinkwater going to have in this second half? Taulagi got the intercept try for the Cowboys in the first. Plenty of twists and turns. Petahiku had the hurried and forced offload that led to the Broncos try. Which superstar is going to break this game open?
Let me run!
Away we go in the second 40. Will we need more than that tonight? Another tight one between these two. And the potential of Golden Point is always there. Noah Brown slowed down. Robson almost opened them up on play 2. Oh, Gilbert's put the bumper bar up and got rid of Billy Walters.
It's a strong run, Thomas Gilbert.
Some good meters here on the first set after half time, already up to halfway. Now Neame. And Billy Walters stopped him in a hurry. Couldn't have asked for much more than that from his side. Todd Payton to begin the second 40. And the kick down to Oates, who got rocked.
Yeah, really good set, wasn't it? As Catewell loses his footing from the Cowboys. Robson just taking a run. Didn't do a lot of it in the first half. Has been terrific. There's a strong tackle over the top on Cobbo. That man again, Thomas Gilbert.
Slipped a couple of times. Cobbo coming into contact from Gilbert. Makes it tough on the defender, but he's nailed him both times. Hasn't gone high. That time Neem looking to drop the shoulder on Flegler. It's a running battle between those two off the bench. That time no treatment for Reynolds. Oh, the fingertips of Katoni Staggs, and now, Drinkwater was looking to burn them down the short side, and that was an important tackle, just holding on.
I got no doubt at all that Adam Reynolds can hear the footsteps coming from the inside. We saw in the first half have a couple of mixed bag with his kicks. 2 7-tackle sets. It's something you don't see with Adam Reynolds. He brought the rib injury into the game. He had plenty of time to kick that one. Didn't quite hit it the way he wanted to, as now Palacia just lays on too long.
Billy Walters was giving him a face massage, the old-fashioned one, a couple of times, and the ref wasn't having that kind of nonsense. I think it's against Billy more so.
He's not happy about it, Billy Walters. He's seen plenty of traffic in this game already in the opening stage of the second half.
Forearm first, then the hand massage second up.
It is the derby. That's play on.
Gilbert so strong. Backed in by his coach to be part of that Queensland Origin setup if Billy Slater wants to go that way. Townsend, runners in motion. Valentine Holmes and Branko Lee off the wing, didn't hold on, so Holmes just up and going again. Set up for a play on the right-hand side now. Tierden taking the line on, an important tackle by Hetherington. He doesn't miss too many. From close range, hitting and spinning his way over. Just his second try in the NRL for Griffin Neem, and it was oh so easy.
He's had a terrific season. Robson out of acting half this time. A little bit of deception. Plays short to Griffin Neem, who's been terrific since coming onto the bench. Payne Haas just rocks out. Cobbo unable to stop a hard-running Neem. And the Cowboys in the opening exchange in this second half crash over. They have come out with intent and purpose.
The Cowboys sent 25 players or personnel away on rep round duty last weekend, and Griffin Neem hoping to be part of that New Zealand World Cup squad at the end of the year, just growing in stature, the 21-year-old. It's his 17th game in the NRL, and making an impact off the bench.
Straight away, off the penalty given away from Billy Walters, the Cowboys. The season that Reece Robson's having, the beneficiaries of his work out of acting half have been Chad Townsend and also Tommy Dearden. Their time and space, Drinkwater out the back, just creates another point of attack as Val Holmes will knock this one over to an 8-point lead.
Just short of that big scoreboard as we check in with Tatey.
Yeah, boys, well, the Broncos have come out here falling asleep in the second half. That kickoff set from the Cowboys, they rolled 70-odd metres. A couple of guys were standing in the play of the ball, and then off the back of that, Todd Payton's message was to the Cowboys at half-time to straighten up their attack, and that's exactly what they've done. Kevin Wallace was obviously very happy with his team's defence, and he just told them to stop their errors inside their 40 and play some field position with their kick chase, but the Broncos really need to lift their intensity in this set of 6.
Yeah, you just wonder how much energy that zapped out of the Broncos defence, up over 50 tackles in the first half more, as Thomas Gilbert Tom Fleckler rather, goes in for a nice shot, and how much that has taken out of the Broncos. He's been terrific in his first game, coming off the bench. Plenty of energy. Leilua.
Oh, Walters had him airborne and gets some back on Tommy Gilbert there. Neem off the back of it though. Gets the Cowboys going forward again. And Townsend has some room for the kick on play 5. Tumbling away from Oates.
That's an excellent kick. Just finding the grass between fullback and winger on play 4. Chad Townsend set after points.
They won that round 3 encounter down at Suncorp, 38 points to 12. The Cowboys, was there a North Queensland hand in there or just the knock on by Staggs? It's only against Brisbane.
Yeah, not the play, not the right play. Jordan Ricky just forcing the pass. Comes down this right-hand side, just needs to bite down on the mouth guard and really earn his team some momentum. Tries to force a pass to a Staggs. It wasn't on. And a crucial set now for the Broncos in the context of this game. An enormous set. We know how lethal the Cowboys are in scoring points. What are they going to come up with here? We see Drinkwater talking out this left-hand side.
Where 4 teammates wait. They fire it to Townsend. And no way through for Holmes. They can move it so swiftly from side to side, these Cowboys. Settler in front of the uprights. Townsend now right-hand side. Drinkwater over the top. Perfection! And Kyle Felt finishes this time. Welcome back to the superstar winger for the North Queensland Cowboys. And what a start to this second half for the home side.
Well, he missed a couple of opportunities in the first half. Kyle Felt out on this right-hand side. And the Cowboys fanned out to the right-hand side. Drinkwater, beautiful little pass. What a season he is having. Another try assist to his name. To think that he wasn't part of this side in the opening few rounds and where they have come from. And a real concern now for the Broncos. 20 points to 8 with a kick to come. Forced offload from Jordan Ricky. Again, leading to points. Doesn't he love it? Hasn't he scored some tries? Kyle Felt.
Scott Drinkwater now has as many try assists as Chad Townsend does. And remember, Drinkwater only got his crack when Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow went down. So Brandy Alexander has some more company there. Alongside Tom Mooney goes Kyle Felt, try number 112 in his career, and Corey Oates just 2 behind that trio.
They've just got so much strike across the park. We just saw last time they had the opportunity, Robson out of dummy half. Dearden out to this left-hand side with a combination with that man on screen with Val Holmes. And they go out to the right, Drinkwater, Townsend. 31 minutes remaining in this match. The Broncos really need to turn up with some defensive resolve.
Toughest test so far tonight for Val Holmes. 12-point lead, looking to make it 14. How well is he striking them? Val Holmes from the sideline, if you don't mind. And don't forget, tomorrow on Main Event, the biggest UFC event of the year. Aussie Alex Volkanovski settles his bad blood with bitter rival Max Holloway, and then Israel Adesanya also part of the bill. You can order that event now, mainevent.com.au. What about the job our man Nico Pajarillo is doing over there, if you don't mind?
Terrific job there in Vegas. Oh no.
It's okay. He's got 5 metres to spare this time. But they need a circuit breaker, the Broncos. Otherwise, North Queensland playing with such confidence this year could run away with it. Leilua going to get a standing ovation tonight the way he's going. On debut as a Cowboy. Oh, what about the footwork? Nanai slipped through the tackle of Mam. First time that's happened tonight.
Just starting to get a little bit loose around the middle. It's only 10 minutes into this second half, but Brent Tate mentioned it right down on there at ground level. Just the Broncos being left on the ground. Plenty of running with the ball as now Drinkwater pops a shot over the top from Palacia, but they've travelled 60 metres after points.
Another kick down towards Oates' wing from Townsend. A clear tactic for everyone against Brisbane.
Really like to see Katoni Staggs get his hands on the ball. Only 2 runs in this game. He's such a devastating ball runner, can create so much momentum for the Broncos. 50 minutes into the contest and he's touched the ball twice. Needs to just come off out of his centre area and really try and lift his team.
A reasonable roll on here, and Walters keeps it alive for Mann. And they're a little late getting up alongside him, Capewell and company out on that left-hand side. Reynolds, one of his best kicks of the night. Staggs getting there, battled it back, and Leilua there to tidy up.
Once again, the Cowboys will see 5 blue jerseys as Flegler now has friendly fire with Pat Carrigan over the top. Val Holmes.
And now Feltz, there's teammates over here, looks back inside, and Kyle Feltz takes on all comers. Gee, if he could have kept that alive, it may have led to one of the tries of the year. Important tackle there, one-on-one by Flegler, but there's still plenty of tackles alive here for North Queensland. Great defensive read by Oates. Scott to Nanai.
The counter-attack from the Cowboys, incredible.
Feltz sucking in the big ones on the right wing after that incredible run moments ago. He might be called upon again here. As Drinkwater heads it back that way. Townsend had no one to go to, and they don't do that too often.
Well, they were hanging on the rack, the Brisbane Broncos, but Kyle Feldt, what a run. 6 or 7 players missed him in tackles. As Capewell trying to inspire his team coming out of their own end.
Let's get down to Tatey.
Yeah, there's plenty of action on the Broncos bench. Paddy Carrigan just came on the field, but he's gone off for a HIA. He caught one on the nose there, so he'll go for an assessment as the Broncos get a much relieving penalty, but plenty of hands on hips and on their haunches. The Broncos, they are just hanging on at the moment.
Hanging on, absolutely. The loss of Carrigan, certainly. Only just coming back onto the field. Kevin Walters going to his bench, his experience, trying to inject a bit of energy, defensively, some starch.
Billy Slater will be interested in the report on Paddy Carrigan as well, with those Origin teams named on Monday. Haas moves it on here for Flegler. Great chance to eat into the 14-point deficit right now for Brisbane. Man, Palacia. It was Capewell running the decoy. He's gone to the centres after that reshuffle earlier on, Capewell. Here's Jensen. Flegler ball playing this time, Reynolds. Oh, what a tackle Tommy did, and on Ricky. That's played out. Fresh set here. Leilua trapped the kick. And Haas tidies up, still going to fall over Payne Haas, and they hold him up. Show of strength by Nanai, was it?
Once again, the Cowboys, the deflection, Payne Haas picks it up. So hard to contain. Breaks the tackle of Nanai before they hold him up over the line.
Jensen off the long run. Taumalolo looking to get one in on his former teammate. Ricky again at Dearden. Reynolds. Oh, the read. Oh, the top one-on-one. Some of the defence tonight for these teams that have been humming in attack in recent times. That's another clear play that by Dearden. Should be 6 more. They've missed that one, have they?
Let him up. This will be 4.
Wow. It's a big miss by all the officials there. Played up by Dearden. Chance. Man, surely. Corey Oates in the corner and Brisbane have some life. Try number 111 for Corey Oates. Equal 4th. He was with Wendell Saylor. He now goes clear of the duel.
Yeah, much needed try, wasn't it, for the Broncos? They come to this left-hand side. Adam Reynolds out to Ezra Mann, who's had a terrific game and looked likely every time he's touched the ball. I was just about to say, I've got no doubt that Reynolds' ribs aren't 100%. He's passing a lot earlier than he normally does. He's not engaging inside shoulders, and in doing so, the outside defence of Nanai and Co have been able to pick him off, and the players outside. This time he goes to Ezra Mann, who's got such electric footwork. And Corey Oates, once again, finds another try for the Brisbane Broncos, and as you mentioned, Speed, he goes past Wendell Saylor.
Who does call himself the Dual International.
Calls himself a lot of things, Wendell.
And he is relegated to outright 5th, Wendell Saylor behind Corey Oates. What about the names on that list?
It's a big kick here.
They're all letting him know he's in enemy territory, but he responds. Black dot stuff from Reynolds, and it's an 8-point margin again. Still plenty of time to go.
22 points to 14. The Broncos have had a little bit of ball, and off the back of that, they've able to find some points. But they need a run of possession. What can they come up with here? I mentioned about what sort of stars are going to stand up in this second half, particularly with the Broncos. And I go back to Tony Staggs. Nearly an hour of football, and he's touched the ball twice.
There's a brilliant kickoff. It was nearly similar to that one in the first half that the Cowboys were able to take dead. Can Staggs find some ball here out on the right-hand side, of course?
Well, he's got to go looking for it, particularly on sets like this when there's not much doing. So hard to put down, can create so much momentum.
Missed out on Origin 2. Played for Tonga last week against New Zealand instead, did Tony Staggs. Haas.
Payne Haas and Pat Carrigan, Jensen, Flegler.
Oh, popped another whack. That time Nanai got to Reynolds. And contact was given the all clear. Didn't ask for any treatment. Special treatment from the referee this week. Adam Reynolds asked about it in the press conference heading into this game. Kevin Walters the same. They knew that he was going to cop it. Taulagi, how smooth does this guy move?
That's a strong run. Just breaks free of Jordan Ricky's tackle.
Taumalolo has played a superb game tonight. Elite performer, 29 years of age, game number 226 for JT.
You see there, once Adam Reynolds in the tackle, they're starting to drop some players off and bringing some traffic back towards him as they go high now.
Oates against Phelps. It was an awkward fall for the veteran. No damage done. Cobbo trying to put some footwork on. 10 out from his own line. Now it's Katoni's turn. And Dearden ready and waiting. 22 games for the Broncos before heading north for Tommy. Oh, forced out the back. No knock on by Billy Walters. It was a close run thing. Here comes Cobbo. They cut him out though. Tapped on for Corey Oates. That's okay. And played on the halfway. Tumbled down by Reynolds. Drinkwater, how well did he do to get there on the full? As a result, they're nearly 30 metres out from their own line.
See Katoni Staggs just getting back in the defensive line with some cramp.
Defending outside of Branko Lee for now. Stripped out of there by Mann.
6 more!
And that's why it's a set restart.
Just starting to get a little loose, the Broncos. Taumalolo out of acting half.
Approaching the hour mark. Just over 20 to go here, and the Cowboys looking to respond to that Broncos strike. Did it. Very threatening ball runner, cut down by Ricky. Taumalolo trying to put his man through a hole, and a great defensive read by Mam again. Quick play the ball though for Taumalolo. Reaches out. Did he find some chalk? Referee says no. Set restart though. Holmes touched in flight by Lee. It's another set restart if you need one. Can they get him into touch?
No advantage, touch.
That's okay. It'll be Cowboys ball still.
Well, they come down this left-hand side, Val Holmes. I heard the set restart go. Force a pass out to Taulungi. He just stuck the mid up. It's like an outfielder in the baseballs. We see Taumalolo just coming out of dummy half. Ezra Mam. Defensively, Kevin Walters asked before the game, what do you want to see from Mam? And he said he wants his defence on song. He certainly lived up to that tonight. The strength from Taulungi. He come up with the error, but the strength to stay in.
Completion rate 100% for these Cowboys. Robson straight off the back of the scrum, and the Broncos crack. What a season he is having. Reece Robson, what a pickup.
Terrific season, Reece Robson. There's been plenty of talk about New South Wales number 9s. He has been in the conversation without doubt. Again, set start out the right-hand side. Just watch the movement here from Tom Deard and also Peter Hiku. Robson comes out, gets through Palacia. Last line of defence, and Selwyn Cobbo unable to go for the one-on-one strip. Reece Robson. Some flimsy defence, plenty of fatigue. 18 minutes to go. Todd Payton enjoying that one. So many tries we see from centre field scrums. Set plays.
You mentioned Origin, very similar to the Origin try in game 1.
Yes, it was.
When there was suspicion that the front row was held in a little too long, and this time it was Flegler in that position, and he couldn't get there to slow this guy down. He was mentioned as a potential bolter, as you say, in those New South Wales number 9 dispatches heading into game 1.
He wouldn't let anyone down, put it that way, from what we've seen this season. He's been absolutely outstanding.
They're going to get that 28-point mark again here that they have achieved in their last 8 wins, the Cowboys, and there's plenty of time to add to it.
As we can see here, boys, Reece Robson, he was always going to take that run from the back of the scrum. He's been in fantastic form. You're right, Corey, would not let New South Wales Blues down. He's got one of the best passing games off the ground. Always gives Chad Townsend plenty of width, hits him on the money. And the Cowboys have now just brought Hamiso on the hammer. So bringing out the Ferrari boys. So as the game starts to open up, we might see the hammer in some open space.
It's a great time, as we see in the replay box. That man on screen, Latrell Mitchell. Talk about Origin. Has there been a player spoken about Origin more? Hasn't played in 12 weeks. Latrell Mitchell gets his opportunity straight after this one. But the Broncos starting to loosen up a little bit defensively. Inject the hammer.
Tamalolo tonight, well up over 100 metres. 12 tackles made, and Leilua, oh, he had the arm free. Came off the bench in that first half, and he's up over 80 metres now. Once again, into Broncos territory off the back of points. Drinkwater, lovely pass to get the fresh man involved. Tabuai Fido, and Capewell just held on. Townsend with time to assess. Taulagi gets there. Can he keep it alive? Oh, he went for the kick rather than the pass, and he wants that one back.
You see, that's great signs for Queensland and also the Brisbane Broncos. Pat Carrigan.
He's got the all clear, Tatey.
Yeah, he's got the all clear, boys. He's just got the interchange card on, so we expect Kevy to get him in there straight away.
Bugle looking a little worse for wear.
Desperation from Capewell, keeping it alive, and Palacia putting some footwork on. Tackled by the shorts by McLean, and then an obstruction off the back of it, and the referee right on top of it. Jake Turpin running behind his teammate, and it's an easy call.
Yeah, Turpin not long been into the fray for the Broncos. Billy Walters has tackled himself to a standstill. Palacia just offload here. Turpin just going behind these players. In doing so, Jordan McLean can't come across. As Carrigan will be back into the fray.
The prospect of more points here. North Queensland in a ruthless mood tonight.
Okay, let him up, Keenan. Corey, you have got to wait. Wait for him.
Gilbert.
Off that arm now, Jordan.
Turpin chopped him down. Tamalolo winding up. Almost scored under those
No more time.
uprights a moment ago. Pass a little behind Drinkwater, made the adjustment, and Nanai will score against Brisbane again. Dominance in this second 40, the home team on track to do the double over Big Brother in 2022.
Once again, off some errors from the Brisbane Broncos. They come to this right-hand side. Jeremiah Nanai, why wouldn't you? Just beating the tackle of Kurt Capewell. What a try scorer he is. He just scores tries for fun out on this right-hand side. Jeremiah Nanai. Plenty of tries off kicks this season and plenty of individual brilliance there. Left foot, right foot.
Equals the record for the most tries by a Cowboys forward in a season. 13 for Nanai, alongside Hess, Gavin Cooper and Glenn Morrison with 13 in a season and plenty of time to add to it. And it doesn't just have to be off kicks that he scores these tries.
See there, most tries for this season. Nanai on 12. Incredible to think that edge back rower, when you see Taylor May and Pappenhausen and Johnston, only a couple ahead, still with 13 minutes remaining. Plenty of space now starting to appear.
That's 12 tries in his last 13 games. And it was the round 3 encounter when he scored the hat-trick off kicks against the Broncos that really put him on the map. Absolutely buzzing tonight. It'll be quite the night in Townsville.
Oh yeah.
adds to more perfection. Straight as an arrow from Valentine Holmes. It's been some performance by the home team, Tatey.
Yeah, it certainly has, guys. And as you see on the replay, what a luxury it is to have Scott Drinkwater play at first and second receiver and just give this Cowboys team another point of attack. I know Jeremiah was really disappointed in his second Origin match down at Perth. And what a hit back it's been. It's a great performance by him tonight, and expect him to be named in that third game, and what a moment in the season he's having.
And from what we saw from the Broncos, they now go for a short drop in that first half. 34 points to 14. The second half, right from the start, right from the outset, the Cowboys were running harder and had line speed defensively and asked the Broncos to go with them, and they just didn't have that ability.
Some effort by Corey Oates to get that ball back from the short kickoff, and he's paid the price. He's getting attended to in back play at the moment, Corey Oates. Oh, had time to juggle it, did Ricky. Harrigan back on and trying to make things happen immediately. All the way through for Hetherington. One hand take from Reynolds. Another juggle. Catewell for Mann. Very hopeful stuff here from the Broncos. Trailing by 20. And Townsend knocked it on in the end to give them a fresh set. Cobbo pins the ears back and beats them all, does he? Selwyn Cobbo, individual try, and the Broncos keep themselves alive just.
I want to check back there, Joey.
What a freak this guy is.
They found a try out of nothing here, the Broncos. The Cowboys had absolutely everything covered. They come this left-hand side, looked to be a marginal pass. Capewell just finds Ezra Mann, comes back to Palacia. Not sure what to do, doesn't have his kicking licence, holds it, throws it out the back. Townsend jumps on the ball. Reynolds steals it. Cobbo just hits the accelerator, gets rid of Tommy Dearden. Before Nanai comes across, they just want to see on the put down. Does he get it down cleanly?
I think that's fine. The only debate, I reckon, is Townsend and Reynolds when they go head-to-head. Maybe the bobble will take this away from Selwyn. It'll be Brisbane ball at worst, but knock on by Townsend.
Chad Townsend knocks the ball on here. Adam Reynolds in trying to secure possession, then knocks it forward into Chad Townsend's shoulder. We have a double knock on.
The Broncos, they'll get the ball back. No try to Selwyn Cobbo.
22 out.
He's been busy since going back to the fullback.
Ads.
Corey, I was just about to mention, what about the acceleration when he put the foot down? He just left them all behind Selwyn Cobbo. What a talent he is.
Yeah, reminds me much of a Brent Tate in his heyday. Good take off.
You're being kind.
Signed until 2025 this week by the Broncos, the 20-year-old sensation Selwyn Cobbo. I just love the Bronx, as he says.
He's a terrific kid, Selwyn Cobbo.
No, come on, Jeremiah. Hold in there.
So a 20-point margin remains.
Wait.
Here he is. Had to be quick and was. For Branko Lee, he'll be a Dolphin next year. With his cousin, Edric Lee, after 5 tries last night for Newcastle.
The line speed that the Cowboys are able to have. Well up over the 10-metre.
Reynolds pops another one and throws it way behind a hobbling Corey Oates, and then Phelps rubs it in, and it's a knock-on by North Queensland.
It's been an unhappy night or return, hasn't it, for Adam Reynolds? Without doubt, his ribs aren't 100%. And plenty of times players take the field, you know, carrying injuries and the like, but he's just passed a little bit earlier than he'd like, right from the start. Cohen Hess went after him when he was kicking the ball. This time he cops a whack from Nanai. But when we saw Adam Reynolds at the forefront of the attack for the Broncos, he was digging in, he was nice and square. This time just playing a little bit early.
Hold the weight, hold in, break.
Feeds the scrum here and wants it on the right-hand side, kicking for himself. And Dearden able to tidy up. He's complaining again, Adam Reynolds, but if he's in the same condition next week when they play host to the Dragons in those heritage jumpers, would you play him or would you rest him for another week or two?
Well, it's going to have to be up to Adam. He's had a frustrating night, to say the least, with a couple of kicks. And I've got no doubt it was from the early stages when Cohen Hess got a hold of him. They sent plenty of traffic at him early. It was well documented as now Capewell comes up with a steal on how his ribs were. And he hasn't had the same effect. So the question will be asked to Adam Reynolds if he was going to play. He's played enough football, he understands his body. He's tried to come out here and courageously lead his troops. Payne Haas has done the same. There's huge doubt on whether Payne Haas was able to back up after Origin. He's been well contained.
And they find some points here. Reynolds has it. Stags against Holmes. And Dearden's defence. These two diminutive number sixes for both teams have stood up defensively. Everington trying to bust them. Man. Flicked up off Townsend. Oh, clever by Capewell, and they've got another set here. They're dominating possession, but this Cowboys defence resilient.
Well, second best defensive team in the competition, the Cowboys, and they're showing why. We saw in the first half the Broncos were outstanding with their goal line. Haven't had a lot of opportunity in this second.
Hetherington has another go, and the desperation for Leilua just holding on to that leg. Help deny.
Don't go on him.
Kobe Hetherington.
Go free, Jordan. Get through.
Reynolds taking them on, and the police tackle from Robson. So many try-savers tonight on both sides. Carrigan. He might lose his licence if he had one.
Well, that just shows the frustration where the Broncos are at. 7 minutes remaining. Pat Carrigan has never kicked the ball in his life, I'm sure. Comes up, tries to come up with a bit of heads-up play once again. The Cowboys just repelling.
You went forward. You went forward.
As Taulagi comes up with an error.
What for? Ruck interference? Okay, Joey. Coming up to tackle 2. Cowboys captain's challenge, on-field decision. He moved forward and lost it. They're disputing ruck infringement.
Strong game, Taulagi, 125 metres.
John Ricky's hands are off Murray Tuolungi. Murray Tuolungi then proceeds to lose the ball. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Middle. Scrum, guys.
It's Grant Atkins in the bunker. Joey to his mates.
Broncos has still got one, right? Yeah.
What sort of scrum play can the Broncos come up with here?
Hey guys,
Katoni
come
Staggs is very lethal.
Keenan.
It's been very quiet for the Broncos out on this right-hand side.
Hold in there.
Ezra Mam has looked very likely.
Hold in! Break!
Oh, they worked it beautifully for Corey Oates to bag another double, just as he did in the loss against Melbourne. He's on one leg and hobbling around right now, but they finish off the centre field scrum execution.
Really hard to stop close to line. We see Chad Townsend just committed to Adam Reynolds, and the hammer unable to come up with a tackle on Corey Oates, who runs a beautiful line there, so hard, so powerful, close to the line. We've seen that so often from the Broncos.
Queensland had Coates on the wing in game 1. Could they have C. Oates on a wing in game 3?
Well, they could. I don't think they will. But
stick with the youngsters.
Well, you know, Taulagi and also Cobbo. I feel will be on the wing.
Brent Tate.
Yeah, a smart play by the Broncos there. That scrum, they just held the ball in the scrum, which allows Adam Reynolds to get far enough out to get Hamisow and Chad Townsend interested in just a nice hard running line there by Corey Oates. Good play from the Broncos. They've been brave tonight with the amount of possession that the Cowboys have had. They've kept themselves in the game.
They need to do what the Cowboys did last start at Manly when they reeled off back-to-back tries to snatch that improbable victory. It was 16 points in 2 minutes and 42 seconds of game time.
Well, we've seen teams do it, haven't we? We saw 3 tries in a few minutes. We saw the Melbourne Storm only a few nights ago score something very similar.
Yeah, they went from 26-12 down to 28-26 in front in the space of 2 minutes and 42 seconds. That was world record pace. Valentine Holmes finishing off that remarkable victory against the Sea Eagles at Brookie. And they've been averaging just 13 points conceded throughout this season, so the Broncos have done well to get to 20 so far with 5 to go.
You just got the sense in that first half as Pat Carrigan.
Right up the middle, Selwyn Cobbo greets the fullback, puts on about 5 steps, and the help comes for Drinkwater. Turpin, where's the support? He might have run away from them on the right-hand side. They're a big show if they head that way. Cobbo takes them on. He'll get there this time, and the comeback is on. Don't rule out these Broncos. It's back to a 10-point margin. Kick to come.
With the grittiness of the Broncos, Pat Carrigan, take a bow, never say die attitude. We've seen it all season. Back through the middle, just a little inside ball to Selwyn Cobbo. Nanai not turning up on his assignment. And Tamate Martin left the field in the early stage of that first half, which then put Cobbo back into that area, and he just has that ability. Re-signed with a club to 2025, and this is why he was so hotly contested. Everyone wanted Selwyn Cobbo's. Adam Reynolds kicks a quick goal, 4 minutes remaining.
They're a little quiet all of a sudden, the locals, Tatey.
It's gone very quiet. There's a few nervous people sitting in the stands, but you want to look to the future and what your club's got at fullback, Selwyn Cobbo. What an outstanding talent he is. You're right, Corey, just got that knack to find the line and find space, and the big smile on his face is no better sight than seeing him in full flight. Game on, boys, game on.
They still believe in the Broncos coaching box.
Time to run!
They don't put it off, then they'll reflect on the start of the second half. This is going really deep.
Oh dear.
And they get the penalty on halfway. Do you take the shot? If you had someone who could kick it, you'd get back to a converted try here off the penalty.
Well, they've got a fair kicker in Adam Reynolds. I don't think that'll be the case. What a crazy turn of events.
We're playing at altitude here in Townsville, are we?
The Cowboys were in full control and leading the match comfortably, and they have given the Broncos a little sniff.
The margin.
We couldn't be, could we?
It was 20 points about 5 minutes ago. It's now 8 points. Cowboys, incomplete sets. And Brisbane perfect.
7, golden point. Speedy.
8-point try, level it up. Oh, Carrigan spills his beans. He doesn't deserve that after his performance tonight, but back from the head knock. and letting it slip.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Pat Carrigan. He's been terrific once again. Every time he goes out on the field for the Broncos, he puts in absolutely everything he has. Wonderful leader.
Just could not reel it in. Malolo, one out from dummy half.
They still get maybe two more opportunities, the Broncos.
Townsend, the game manager, talking his team through this one. And he'll finish off the set like this. Oates, good safe take. They've got to be perfect from here, Brisbane. Trying to force an offload for a moment there.
2 minutes remaining.
Oh, Palacia, there wasn't a whole lot doing there, was there? There's some hands on hips for these Broncos, and now the comeback is over.
Yeah, well, the play was coming out in the right-hand side of that man on screen, Adam Reynolds. 2 minutes remaining. They need to come up with points. They needed a bit of a shift. Palacia, Jake Turpin just passing him the ball, needed to find Reynolds. The Cowboys.
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Going to be 4 wins out of 5 against the Broncos for North Queensland.
Hold in, mate.
Another centre field scrum. Drinkwater, beautiful. Catch and pass. Taulagi. Teammate got out of the way, and they score from a centre field scrum again. Try given. How clever is this guy? On the left wing. What an operator he is. Murray Taulagi.
This is beautiful. Just sit back and watch this. They've had so much strike all over all parts. They come to the left-hand side. Drinkwater just moves so beautifully. Gets rid of Adam Reynolds very easy. Nice hands from Val Holmes. Drinkwater does a great job of getting out of the way. Didn't impede anybody. And the Cowboys finish off what has been a very dominant display in this second half. Had all the possession. The Broncos have been courageous defensively. And Taulagi crosses over for another try.
Nearly whacked Katoni Staggs there with an inadvertent celebration right to the mush, but he just missed him.
The subtle movement whilst the ball's in the air from Scott Drinkwater, it's like poetry. Just a little goosey, just gets on the outside. Taulagi, 5 tackle busts, 133 metres, a line break, 2 tries. CBD and Towns will be rocking. The Mad Cow, Brent Tate will have his best dance moves on.
And the leading point scorer in the NRL this season, looking to put the cap on it. He's been perfect tonight, including a couple of sideline conversions on the other side. Hooking and glancing in off the upright. For 2 more, they've got to 40 against the Broncos. North Queensland in that top 3, solidifying their spot. And Premiership contenders under Todd Payten.
He'd be extremely happy with what he's seen from his troops. Todd Payten. This is for Kevin Walters. Well, they missed the jump in that second half. The Cowboys come out with all the running. They were terrific defensively in the first half. The Broncos to go in.
What about the loss of Martin, throwing them out of whack when the fullback goes down early?
Yeah, without doubt, that's been a concern. But in doing so, Selwyn Cobbo's gone back in the fullback role and has done a terrific job.
No short kick off this time. Listen to this joint. Queensland Country Bank Stadium sold out, and their team has responded. 40 points on the Broncos for the first time in club history, and they sweep Brisbane for the first time in a decade in the regular season. They are on their feet, these Cowboys fans. Full time. North Queensland 40, Brisbane 26.